Dr. Elias slammed the door to his Boston clinic office, his hands trembling as he clutched the crumpled note. "Meet me tonight. It's happening again. R." The words burned into his mind like acid, but it was the attached photo that shattered him. A grainy image of Ryan Hale, the powerful Alpha CEO, locked in an intimate embrace with a woman at a high society gala. Elias's heart raced. This wasn't just another heat cycle call. This was proof that the man he'd secretly loved for years was playing him for a fool. Elias paced the small room, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like accusations. He'd always known their arrangement was fragile, built on stolen moments when Ryan's alpha biology overpowered his ironclad control. As a beta doctor specializing in pheromone disorders, Elias had been Ryan's discreet lifeline for 3 years, suppressing the CEO's unpredictable heats with custom inhibitors. But love had crept in uninvited, turning professional duty into a dangerous obsession. Now, staring at the photo sent anonymously to his phone, Elias felt the weight of betrayal crush his chest. How could Ryan, the untouchable head of Hale Enterprises, parade a fiancé in public while begging Elias for relief in private? The clinic's evening shift had ended, leaving the building eerily quiet. Elias sank into his chair, replaying their last encounter 2 months ago. Ryan had shown up at midnight, eyes wild with the onset of heat. His usual commanding presence frayed at the edges. "I can't go to anyone else," he'd growled, pinning Elias against the exam table with desperate need. Elias had administered the treatment, but afterward, in the haze of vulnerability, Ryan had whispered promises, words like "only you understand me," that Elias had clung to like lifelines. Now those words felt like lies. He grabbed his coat, deciding to confront Ryan tonight, no matter the cost. Driving through the rain-slicked streets of Boston, Elias's mind swirled with questions. Was he just a convenient fix, a hidden shame in Ryan's perfect alpha life? Arriving at Ryan's penthouse in Back Bay, Elias buzzed the intercom with a steady hand that belied his inner turmoil. The door clicked open, and there stood Ryan, shirt unbuttoned, sweat beading on his forehead, the telltale signs of an impending heat. "Elias, thank God," Ryan rasped, pulling him inside. But Elias shoved the photo into his chest. "Explain this." Ryan's face paled, his alpha scent spiking with alarm. "It's not what you think. She's arranged. Family pressure." Elias laughed bitterly. "Arranged? You're engaged, Ryan, and you come to me like I'm your dirty secret." The argument erupted like a storm. Ryan paced the lavish living room, his broad shoulders tense under the city lights filtering through floor-to-ceiling windows. "You don't understand the world I live in. Alphas like me, we're expected to mate with omegas, produce heirs, uphold the family legacy. My parents would disown me if they knew about us." Elias's eyes stung with unshed tears. "Us? There is no us. I'm a beta, remember? Disposable. Not worthy of your public life." Ryan reached for him, but Elias stepped back. "I love you," Ryan confessed, voice breaking. "But I can't lose everything." Elias's resolve cracked, memories flooding back. Their first meeting at a medical conference, where Ryan had sought him out for his expertise on alpha suppressants. What started as consultations evolved into late-night talks about the burdens of societal expectations, Ryan's suffocating family dynasty, Elias's own struggles as a gay beta in a field dominated by alpha egos. They'd bonded over shared isolation, but now it felt tainted. "If you loved me, you'd choose," Elias said, his voice steady despite the ache. Ryan hesitated, and in that silence, Elias saw the truth. He turned to leave, but Ryan grabbed his arm. "Stay, just for tonight. The heat. It's bad." Against his better judgment, Elias stayed, administering the inhibitor in the sterile guest room Ryan kept for such emergencies. As the drug took effect, Ryan's body relaxed, but the tension between them lingered. Lying beside him in the dim light, Elias whispered, "This has to end." Ryan nodded weakly, But Elias knew it was a lie. Driving home at dawn, he felt the first cracks in his own armor. How much longer could he endure this half-life, loving a man who couldn't fully love him back? The next day, Elias threw himself into work, seeing patients with mechanical efficiency. But his mind wandered to his own family, a conservative clan in rural Massachusetts who'd never accepted his sexuality. Betas should stick to their lane, his father had once said, dismissing Elias's coming out. Now, entangled with Ryan, Elias wondered if he was proving them right, settling for scraps. A colleague noticed his distraction. "You okay, Doc?" Elias forced a smile. "Just a tough case." That evening, the anonymous sender struck again. A text with more photos, this time of Ryan and his fiancée at a family dinner. Elias's stomach churned. Who was behind this? A rival? A scorned lover? He decided to investigate, starting with Ryan's social circle. But as he dug, he uncovered something worse. Ryan's engagement was no mere arrangement. It was a strategic merger for Hale Enterprises, binding two powerful alpha families. Elias felt like a pawn in a game he never agreed to play. Elias sat in his dimly lit apartment, scrolling through public records on his laptop. The engagement announcement in the Boston Globe stared back at him. Ryan Hale to wed Omega heiress Sophia Lang. The photo showed them smiling, her hand on his arm possessively. Elias's jealousy flared, but it was the article's details that stung. How this union would solidify Hale's dominance in tech, pleasing shareholders and family alike. He slammed the laptop shut, realizing Ryan had never mentioned the business angle. Was their connection just a stress relief amid corporate machinations? The following week brought no relief. Ryan texted sporadically, apologetic but evasive. "We need to talk," Elias replied, but Ryan cited board meetings and family obligations. Elias's frustration built, manifesting in sleepless nights and skipped meals. At the clinic, he treated an alpha patient whose heat had led to a public scandal, reminding him of Ryan's vulnerabilities. "Society doesn't forgive alphas who can't control themselves," the patient lamented. Elias nodded sympathetically, but inside he seethed. Why should he bear the burden while Ryan hid behind privilege? Then came the family intervention. Elias's sister, Clara, called from home. "Mom and Dad want you to visit. They're worried about you being alone in the city." Elias sighed, knowing alone was code for unmarried and gay. "I'm fine," he lied. But Clara pressed, "There's talk in town about that CEO you're treating. Rumors he's using you." Elias froze. How had word spread? "It's professional," he insisted, but doubt crept in. Was someone leaking information to sabotage them? Desperate for clarity, Elias arranged a secret meeting with Ryan at a neutral coffee shop in Cambridge. Ryan arrived looking haggard, his alpha aura dimmed. "I've missed you," he said, reaching across the table. Elias pulled back. "Missed me or the treatments?" Ryan winced. "Both. But Elias, this engagement, it's my father's doing. If I back out, I'll lose the company." Elias's eyes narrowed. "And what about me? Am I worth the risk?" Ryan hesitated again, and Elias's heart sank. "You're asking me to choose between my life and you." The conversation turned heated. Elias accused Ryan of cowardice, of perpetuating the very societal norms that oppressed them. "Alphas like you get to have it all: power, respect, hidden affairs. Betas like me? We're the ones who pay the price." Ryan countered, "You think it's easy? My family would cut me off if they knew I'm gay. And with my heats, I'd be ruined." Elias softened momentarily, remembering Ryan's first confession about his condition. A rare alpha variant that made suppressants unreliable without personalized care. But sympathy warred with anger. "Then end it. Choose freedom." They parted unresolved, Ryan promising to think it over. But days later, Elias received a chilling email from an unknown address. "Stop seeing him, or everyone knows." Attached was a video snippet from Ryan's penthouse security, Elias entering late at night. Panic surged. This wasn't just harassment. It was blackmail. Elias confided in his best friend, Marcus, a fellow beta and lawyer. Sounds like corporate espionage, Marcus said over drinks. Or maybe the fiancé's doing. Elias nodded, deciding to trace the IP address with Marcus's help. Their investigation led to a private investigator hired by Ryan's father, Victor Hale. Shocked, Elias confronted Ryan via phone. "Your own dad is spying on us?" Ryan sounded defeated. "He suspects something. Always has." Elias's trust eroded further. "Did you know?" Silence. "Not at first." Betrayal hit like a punch. Elias hung up, vowing to cut ties. But that night, Ryan showed up at his door, heat flaring uncontrollably. "I couldn't stay away," he gasped. Elias let him in, administering the inhibitor out of duty, but his touch was cold. As Ryan recovered, they talked honestly for the first time. Ryan revealed his childhood under Victor's thumb, forced into alpha ideals, suppressing his sexuality to fit the mold. "I thought marrying Sophia would fix everything," he admitted. Elias shared his own scars. Rejection from family, professional isolation as a gay beta in medicine. For a moment, vulnerability bridged the gap, but reality intruded. "We can't keep this up," Elias said. Ryan agreed, but his eyes pleaded otherwise. The next morning, Elias woke to news alerts. Hale Enterprises stock dipped amid rumors of internal strife. He wondered if their secret was leaking. At work, a patient, a young gay alpha, shared his story of coming out and losing everything. "Was it worth it?" Elias asked. "Yes," the patient replied. "Freedom over facade." Inspired, Elias texted Ryan, "We end this now, or I walk forever." Ryan's response came swiftly, "Meet me at the office. Tonight." Elias arrived at Hale Enterprises' towering headquarters in downtown Boston, the lobby empty save for security. Ryan waited in his executive suite, overlooking the harbor lights. "I've decided," Ryan said, voice firm. "I'll call off the engagement." Elias's hope soared, but skepticism lingered. "What changed?" Ryan paced. "You." And realizing I can't live a lie anymore. They embraced, the first real moment of tenderness without the shadow of heat. But joy was short-lived. Victor Hale burst in, flanked by board members. "What's this?" he bellowed, holding printouts of emails between Ryan and Elias. Ryan's face drained of color. "Father, Victor cut him off. "You're throwing away our legacy for this." "Beta?" The slur hung heavy, exposing the deep-seated prejudice against non-alpha pairings, especially same-sex ones. Elias stood tall. "This is about love, not labels." Victor laughed cruelly. "Love? In our world, it's about power." The confrontation escalated. Victor revealed he'd orchestrated the blackmail to force Ryan's hand. "I knew about your treatments." "Disgusting." Ryan defended Elias, but Victor issued an ultimatum. "End this, marry Sophia, or you're out." Ryan wavered, glancing at Elias with apology in his eyes. "I can't lose the company," he whispered. Elias's world tilted. "Then you've chosen." He stormed out, tears blurring the elevator descent. In the days that followed, Elias spiraled. He ignored Ryan's calls, focusing on patients whose stories mirrored his pain. Betas marginalized, alphas trapped by expectations. His family called again, sensing distress. "Come home," his mother pleaded. Elias refused, but the isolation gnawed. Marcus urged him to sue for harassment, but Elias hesitated, not wanting to drag Ryan down further. Then, a twist. Sophia contacted Elias anonymously. They met in a park, where she revealed her own secret. She was in love with someone else, an Omega woman, and the engagement was mutual facade. "Ryan's miserable," she said, "but his father's controlling everything." Elias sympathized, seeing parallels in their forced roles. Help me expose Victor, she proposed. Elias agreed, seeing a chance for justice. Together, they gathered evidence. Victor's illegal surveillance, coercive business tactics. Elias hacked his moral compass, justifying it as necessary. They leaked it to a journalist friend of Marcus's. The story broke. Hale patriarch accused of blackmail in family scandal. Chaos ensued. Stock plummeted. Board called emergency meetings. Ryan called Elias in panic. "What have you done?" Elias replied coldly, "What you couldn't. Fight back." Ryan arrived at Elias's apartment that night, not in heat, but in desperation. "Father's furious. He blames me." Elias stood firm. "Good. Face the consequences." But as Ryan broke down, recounting years of emotional abuse, Elias's anger softened. They talked through the night, unpacking traumas. Ryan admitted his fear of vulnerability had kept him chained. "I betrayed you by not choosing sooner." Elias forgave tentatively. "We both paid prices." The scandal forced Victor's resignation. Ryan assumed interim CEO, but the damage lingered. Public scrutiny on his personal life. Whispers of his sexuality circulated, testing societal tolerance. Elias supported him discreetly, their bond strengthening amid adversity. But doubts remained. Could Ryan truly commit? With Victor sidelined, Ryan publicly ended the engagement, citing mutual agreement. Sophia issued a statement supporting him, subtly hinting at her own truth. Media frenzy followed, labeling Ryan a rebel alpha. Elias watched from afar, pride mixed with fear. Their relationship, still secret, felt precarious. Ryan invited Elias to dinner at a quiet restaurant in the North End. "No more hiding," Ryan said, taking his hand publicly. Elias's heart swelled, but anxiety lurked. What if backlash destroyed them? Indeed, it came swiftly. Conservative shareholders boycotted. Family members disowned Ryan. His mother called, sobbing, "You've shamed us." Ryan stood resolute, but the toll showed: sleepless nights, weight loss. Elias treated his worsening heats, now exacerbated by stress. "This is the price," Ryan murmured during one session. Elias nodded, but inwardly questioned if love was worth the ruin. Elias faced his own reckonings. His clinic received hate mail, beta freak aiding perverts. Patients canceled, citing discomfort. His boss pulled him aside. "This scandal's bad for business." Elias defended his integrity, but fear of unemployment loomed. He visited his family, bracing for confrontation. His father exploded. "You're dragging our name through mud." Elias countered, "I'm living truthfully. Can you say the same?" The visit ended in stalemate, but Clara hugged him goodbye. "I'm proud." Back in Boston, Ryan proposed a bold move: go public together. At the company gala, he said. Elias agreed, seeing it as a turning point. But on the eve, an old flame of Ryan's resurfaced. A beta ex from college, now a rival executive. "Ryan's using you," he warned Elias over coffee. "He did the same to me." Promises, then abandonment. Doubt seeded. Was Ryan's change genuine? At the gala, amid glittering elites, Ryan announced his truth. "I'm gay, and in love with Dr. Elias Thorne." Gasps rippled. Elias joined him on stage, heart pounding. Applause mixed with boos. Victor, uninvited but present, stormed out. Later, in private, Ryan confessed the ex's claims were twisted. Youthful mistakes, not patterns. Elias believed him, but the night ended with a threat. Anonymous calls promising revenge. The aftermath brought unity and division. Support groups reached out, praising their courage. But societal backlash intensified. Protests outside Hale Enterprises decrying alpha deviance. Ryan's heats became public fodder, twisting his medical needs into scandal. Elias stood by him, but resentment brewed. Why must they fight so hard for basic acceptance? A moral dilemma arose when a young alpha patient sought Elias's advice on coming out. "Look at Ryan Hale," the patient said. "Is it worth it?" Elias paused, weighing his own pain. "Yes, but prepare for the cost." Internally, he grappled. Had they inspired change, or just invited suffering? As months passed, Ryan rebuilt Hale Enterprises with progressive policies, LGBTQ plus inclusivity, pheromone research funding. Elias's clinic stabilized, attracting patients seeking empathetic care. Their relationship deepened, marked by honest conversations about past betrayals. But shadows lingered. Victor, from exile, plotted a comeback, leaking falsified documents claiming Ryan embezzled to fund personal indulgences. The accusation hit headlines. CEO's secret life funded by fraud? Ryan denied it vehemently, but investigations loomed. Elias rallied support, testifying to Ryan's character. "He's a man of integrity," he stated in court. But the strain tested them. Ryan snapped during an argument. "Maybe father was right. I should have stayed hidden." Elias recoiled. "Then go back to your cage." Reconciliation came through therapy, where they unpacked mired emotions. Ryan admitted his fear of loss stemmed from childhood abandonment after his Omega sibling's death. Elias shared his insecurity as a beta in an alpha-centric world. "We're equals," Ryan affirmed. Bonds mended, but the trial dragged on. In a dramatic turn, Sophia testified against Victor, exposing his manipulations. The case collapsed, Victor arrested for fraud. Ryan was exonerated, but the victory felt Pyrrhic. Reputation scarred, relationships fractured. Elias pondered the ethical gray areas. Their leaks had started this chain, blurring right and wrong. Post-trial, they escaped to Cape Cod for respite. Walking beaches, Ryan proposed. "Marry me." Elias hesitated. "After all this?" Ryan nodded. "Because of it. We've paid the price. Now claim the reward." Elias accepted, tears of joy mixing with relief. But society pushed back. Their wedding announcement drew mixed reactions. Celebrations from allies, condemnations from traditionalists. Elias's family boycotted. Ryan's mother attended reluctantly. The ceremony, intimate in a Boston garden, symbolized defiance. Vows exchanged. They embraced, but Elias whispered, "Is this the end of our battles?" Life post-wedding brought tentative peace. Ryan stabilized his heats with Elias's ongoing care, their home a sanctuary amid chaos. Professionally, they thrived. Ryan's company boomed with innovative inclusivity. Elias published on pheromone ethics. But personal costs mounted. Friends distanced, fearing association. Elias's sister Clara visited, offering olive branches, families thawing. Yet his father's silence stung. A final confrontation arose when Victor, from prison, sent a letter. "You've destroyed everything. Was it worth it?" Ryan burned it, but the words echoed. Elias questioned their choices. Had revenge justified betrayal? In quiet moments, they debated morality. Ryan defending necessary actions, Elias advocating forgiveness. One evening, during a mild heat episode, Ryan confessed lingering guilt. "I hurt you most." Elias reassured. "We both chose this path." Their love, forged in fire, endured, but scars reminded of sacrifices. Years later, at a conference, Elias reflected on their journey. Patients thanked them for paving ways, but he wondered about unseen damages. Society evolved slowly, prejudices fading but persistent. In the end, as they watched a sunset over the Charles River, Elias turned to Ryan. "No regrets." Ryan smiled. "None." Yet, the story leaves one lingering question. In the pursuit of love against societal chains, is betrayal ever truly justifiable?